Okay, we'll now welcome the candidates for Randall County Commissioner, Precinct 1. Questions covered in your voter guide include the candidate's background and goals, if elected, infrastructure, and taxes.
We were easy to.
I know.
Go. Good-looking crowd out there, isn't it?
It is. I do. Darn it. Can you read it?
Yeah, a reminder off the top if you guys will introduce yourselves after I asked you a second. Okay, first question, Mr. Bailey, this will go to you. What are some areas in which Randall County and the City of Canyon have been or should be working together for their citizens?
Well, thank you, first of all, for letting us be here tonight and talking about what we feel on different things. I moved here 4 years ago, and it is interesting, the demographics of this area, because you do have Randall County, you have Potter County, but then you have some of Amarillo. So when I was looking at Randall County, I was like going, okay, so is it just Randall County? No, it's part of Amarillo, and so no, it's part of Potter too. Well, if you go past this street, and it is divided up pretty weird. So, but I think in any situation with any challenge that you have, being in a city, working in counties, you need to collectively work together. There's strengths in numbers, iron sharpens iron. You got to look at whatever the situation is, whether what they were just talking about with the jail, working together with that, right? You got to do that. Whether it's working with fire or police and backing people up if there's a major catastrophe or an event with the flooding that we had in May and June last year, you have to work collectively together. It's very important. Communication is very important. So you have to have the department heads on all fronts be able to communicate effectively with each other and have the people, in place to do that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all letting us get up here and visit with you. I'm going to tell you when you talk about the relationship between the city of Canyon and Randall County, you're talking about it's almost a sacred relationship. Those entities have to work together for the betterment of the citizens. Now, safety and security of our citizens comes to mind for me in the first place. Brian touched on it a little bit, flooding, fire, the relationship between the Randall County Sheriff's Department and the city police, our city police services and fire. Those things have to be coordinated. That is the definition of a symbiotic relationship. Those entities must work together. You also see it in even some areas like West Texas A&M University that's in the city of Canyon but has services outside in Randall County, rural Randall County. That's a very big part of who we are as a community. So I specifically and to go into great detail, I would say that partnership, not just really the city of Canyon and Randall County, but the city of Amarillo also. Those partnerships are extremely, extremely important to our success.
Thank you. Our second question, how should commissioners deal with growth in unincorporated areas of the county? And how is this growth likely to affect taxpayers?
For me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. So the growth in Randall County outside the city of Canyon has been explosive. What used to be ranch land is now development. Ranchers are getting older in my age group, and their kids are not wanting to take over the ranch, so they're selling that land to developers and doing well with it in some instances. And so and plus we have a great place to live, work, and raise a family. So it's an attractive place to live. So that's part. I was talking to J.D. Ragland out at the AgriLife Extension office for Randall County a few weeks ago, and he actually said that's the greatest challenge. How the land around the city of Canyon, out in rural Randall County, is changing in development. It's a huge challenge for them. It's a huge challenge for our services, as Sheriff Forbes mentioned. and fire also. Now, how's that going to affect the tax play? Well, in some ways, it's really good. It increases the tax base. Those people are buying houses, and that helps the Randall County tax base. But it also really stresses our first responders. And to me, at my age, and I don't know what this says about me, it may not be all that good, but I'm really, really concerned and interested in the success of our first responders. I want an ambulance to be able to get to your house in rural Randall County, and I want an ambulance to be able to get to my house in rural Randall County. So it is a gigantic concern for us, and a challenge for the future.
So look, growth is coming. It may be rural Randall County right now, but it won't be for long. Randall County, I have a nickname for it. It's called Mayberry because the crime is relatively low. Our current county commissioners and our judge do a phenomenal job running that thing. We got a $125 million budget. It's a safe environment. It's a great place to live. So what's going to happen in an environment like that? People are going to flood there. So our colleagues over in Potter County, people aren't flooding to that, and they have other challenges in that area. But our challenges are going to be with growth, no doubt about it, and working together with everybody down there, and Canyon as well, for sure. But I just think it's really important at this stage to be a forward thinker and to be proactive and to not be thinking about, well, what will just happen tomorrow? Well, what can we do just to alleviate this problem? But we got to be a forward thinker going, what's going to happen in 1 year? What's going to happen in 3 years? And right now, the county commissioners are doing a great job on that. And it's because they take time and they research it, and that's what we need to do. And a lot of these questions will probably, what do you do it right now? Well, you got to be a forward thinker, and you've got to do your homework, you got to do your due diligence, you got to have wisdom, you got to have discernment in some of these things that are happening.
Thank you. Our audience question now, in regard to property tax abatements, what is your opinion on the role of giving them when the primary source of county revenue is property tax? And that'll be Mr. Cooper. No, I'm sorry. I think it's Bailey. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so being a businessman, I don't know. You got to have tax payments, right? You got to, because you got to intrigue big companies coming in here. You got to give them an incentive to come in here. You got to give them tax breaks. I get all that. But I just personally feel it doesn't need to be the first thing on the table by any means. It needs to be kind of what you're holding in your back pocket to solidify the deal, or if the deal's starting to go sideways, then you do that. So we need companies in here. We need to promote, jobs here in Randall County as well. But the tax abatements, few and far in between, I would think, and it's definitely not something that I would put on the table very first by any means.
I agree. I agree with Brian. I think it has to be a tool in the toolbox. I recruited. That's what I did. I recruited young men to West Texas A&M University and to this area to play, and even in the current environment in recruiting, you don't know exactly what's going to take to get that business or that industry into our county. Tax abatements have to be a tool that the county commission and the economic development corporations can use to entice businesses and recruit industry to our area. But there are unintended consequences, sometimes good, sometimes bad to those. The immediate effect is that it lowers your opportunity at revenue from that business, and the county needs revenue to pay for the services that county citizens expect to have. But also there are good, if it brings in a new workforce, people are building houses, they're buying homes, that's a good thing. So you got to really look at it. You probably can't look at it in just a short-term manner. You have to look at it in long-term also, and you have to try to see what the unintended consequences, both good and bad, of that tax abatement tool would be.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you both.
Thank you.